Welcome to the Dump Him podcast, discussing all things modern day dating, learning to love yourself, and when you should just dump him, or her, or them.
Hello!
Hi guys!
How are we all doing?
Welcome back to the Dump Him podcast.
Episode 7.
Yeah, that's really nice and tuneful. Please do that again. Please do that at the start of every episode.
I think that was my childhood growing up. Len Goodman on Strictly Come Dancing. 7!
Okay. I do remember that from my childhood. I wouldn't do the impression now because I'm trying to be cool on the internet, but
God, I'm a special case. Well, Frank,
guys.
how are you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm pleased to say we are in March.
We are in March.
March.
We're also 1 month closer to being free.
Freedom! No, I will stop.
Don't go off a note. No one wants to hear that. Everyone's headphones in are pulling them out now. They're like, get me away.
What is she on? So guys, as we mentioned in maybe 2 episodes ago now, I think, March is going to be our self-care love. Mm-hmm. So we're nearing freedom, as we just said. We're going to get ourselves nicely prepped, feeling good physically and mentally for when we are allowed out and we can go and meet people and actually date properly, because it is a little bit difficult right now, as Francesca and I have certainly found, so you probably have as well. Mm-hmm. So we thought for March.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying I'm just agreeing with you. I'm trying to fill the silence because we can't hear the listeners respond, so I'm speaking for all of us when I say
that you're all listening intently.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is give you 3 little challenges every week, but they're not really challenges because they're pretty fun. It should be quite easy to do, but it's almost like a reminder that you need to do these things, because I think sometimes we forget about ourselves and we're busy thinking about everyone else and what we need to do to help other people. I myself normally in non-COVID times do a treat myself every week, whether it be going to get my nails done or going for a massage. So I want to bring this into everyone else's lives as well, because it's really important. Even if it's just that 1 hour a week that's all about you, we need to do it. So also on that note, I also think it's important that if you think of the times when you've had a boyfriend or you've had a girlfriend and the amount of time, effort, thinking and money you've put into doing things for them.
True.
It's quite a lot, right? I've come up with some really elaborate ideas and done them. I'm not just sat in bed thinking about them. I have actually executed them. So what we want to do is you guys to take all that time, energy, blah, blah, and put it into doing stuff for yourself. Francesca and I will be participating in these. Okay.
Will we? Can you run them by me first?
Nope.
Okay,
well, they're fresh for the listeners, so they're fresh for you.
I've already got my little self-care routine though. I've got my weekly things I do, like chips for dinner Saturday, chip shop chips on a Saturday, face mask Sunday. I have my little I'm good. Big on those things as well. I feel
good.
Work long hours like I do. I'm leaving that in, by the way. Anyone that didn't.
Just kidding. I work weird hours. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's not forget my office starts at 6:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one, and this is kind of well known, but I feel like we let it slip sometimes, is you're going to make your bed. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, if you've had a rubbish day, you've gone out, whatever, things haven't gone to plan, you come back to a nicely made bed, okay? And once you've done that thing, you've done one job. You've done something already. You've already achieved something and you've only been up for 30 seconds. So this is a great place. I want everyone to start.
Yeah, I do that already. Preach it to the choir, hun.
Hun, this isn't just you on this little meeting.
Okay, sorry. Listeners, I definitely recommend it. I make my bed every morning. Not usually when I've just gotten out of it, because I like to let it air out first and cool down. But I always make my bed before I like actually start the day and like leave the house or sit down to work or anything. And there's anyone, if anyone's watching on YouTube, where you can see the video version of the podcast, you can see us record, you can actually see Kitty's bed nicely made behind her.
Don't have as many pillows on there as I normally have. So I need to add some more.
Yeah.
It is looking a bit bare, isn't it? Anyway, you can see my nice little blanket and everything.
Wow.
So, secondly, write an "it's done" list. So to remind yourself of everything you have achieved over, well, however long period you want to do it, maybe we'll say last week, 2 weeks, so you'll be writing for ages, and just have that mental moment where you can write it all down. You can sit there and go, actually, I've achieved a lot and I've done a lot. And you'll feel fantastic about yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I always write to-do lists for work, and sometimes I like to write things that I've already done.
So you can tick them off.
Yeah, so I feel like once you start with things ticked off, it's less daunting about working through the rest of it, rather than if you're working from a completely fresh list, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. I love that.
Yeah. So even if it's just like, oh, reply to this email, or like file this email in the correct folder, I'll still like write it down just so I've got something off the list when I start.
Exactly. And this is the list you need to create, the "it's done" list. You know what? I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thirdly, and I've got 2 for this one because I have a good one for the ladies, but we do also have men listening. So I wanted something that they could do as well. So obviously you can do either, you can do both, whatever you want. So one of them, try a makeup look that you've never done before and you've been too scared to do. Now, guys, girls, either. This is a perfect time to try it, and you don't have to worry about anyone seeing it because you can't leave your house. So if it goes great, you can take some pictures, you can film a TikTok, do whatever with your newfound makeup on, post a little selfie on Instagram. But also if it goes rubbish, you might have enjoyed doing it and it doesn't matter because no one sees you anyway.
Yeah, I really want to try the, have you seen like the Fox makeup eye, the little Kendall Jenner situation?
I mean, I just want to try anything with eyeliner because I'm absolutely useless at it.
It's like a winged, like smoky eyeshadow, like browns, and then they also bring a bit of liner in the middle, so your eye looks like a fox's eye, like really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've watched so many videos, but I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Also, I'm gonna look like a lunatic in it.
It doesn't matter. This is the week to try it and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll find some time in my busy schedule.
I want to do like a blue eyeshadow, like a turquoise.
Really?
Okay.
Why
not?
Yeah,
and
true.
Then dark lips.
Nice. That would be lovely. Definitely send me a photo of that when you try it.
I might work on my idea a little bit more before I try it. But you know,
do you mean together or separate?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe keep them separate.
I feel like that was a bit of a splurge of thoughts that came to my mind, and actually I need to define my idea a little bit more.
Yeah, go away and think about that.
Yeah,
and then come back. Okay.
Okay. And the last one, or the third one, whatever you want to call it, do something that you loved as a child.
What did I do as a child?
I don't know. I ran around the garden pretending I was totally Spies. If anyone remembers that.
I love that you just admitted that in public. That's
happily
really something. I did some weird stuff when I was a kid, to be fair. I don't even want to say it. But maybe like reading. I loved reading when I was a kid. I was a little nerd.
Okay, well, book an hour out.
I want to play swing ball.
Oh, I love swing.
That was my obsession when I was a kid.
It was so good. What else did I love to? Oh, you know what I do fancy? A little gaming on Sims.
Yes. Yeah.
I still have my old laptop here, just because it's got Sims on it.
Yeah, get back into Sims.
During the first lockdown, I ramped up an old computer and started playing Roller Coaster Tycoon that I honestly had not played since I was like 8.
Oh, wow.
I had a ball, but you know what? I was smashing all the levels because now I understood what to do.
Do you know what? I actually am obsessed with the memory of this game that I used to play at primary school, like on the computers at school. And it was called, and please, if someone remembers this, can you like message in because I think I'm going insane. I don't know if it ever existed, but it was called Granny's Garden. And you like, it was like a challenge game, and you were like, it was like all the different, I think it was the different like things in your quote unquote granny's garden. And you had to like do something to do, you had to do all these little game challenge
It
things.
wasn't a lawnmower one. Do you remember that one?
No, this was
No, the lawn.
vintage. This was like when we were like 8 years old. This was
Like Nintendogs.
no, it was before that. It was like, you know, when the big thick computers, like black plastic Dell
Yeah.
computers, big ones, like wide and like
Yeah.
and like you all you could do was like go on word art and make like squiggly rainbow
Oh my God,
writing.
stop.
And it was the graphics on it were just like so trash. Like it was just pixels, and it was called Granny's Garden. I remember that, and I remember it was all we ever wanted to play at school. Like if the teacher said, "Yeah, you can play Granny's Garden," it was like, "Yeah, like great ICT lesson." And I
Oh
want
my
to
God,
find a version of it. Yeah, and I want to find a version of it online because I feel like I don't even know if it ever existed. Did I dream it?
Oh God, I don't know.
Mm.
Well, guys, write in what you love doing as a child. I thought that was the sweetest idea.
you.
Hopefully it makes people feel a little bit nostalgic. This is the time to do it. We're in lockdown if you're listening in the UK. If you're anywhere else in the world, you're probably not in lockdown, and we're all really jealous, but you can still make time to do it.
Can we please do like a British school nostalgia episode where we talk about like floppy disks?
Yeah, we can do it at the end of season 2.
And like the trays you used to get your lunch on that were like plastic and they had like a section for your main, little cutlery bit, little pudding bit, and a hole for your cup.
Do you know the problem with those? It's
What?
because I went back in my gap year and worked as a gap student. I was eating from those as a 19-year-old.
Oh no way! That's very cool.
Kind of we're in this nostalgic side of, your little tray.
Oh yeah, bad memories.
Didn't even get a proper plate. Luckily, I could still keep the pudding separate, so that was all good.
Oh, please can someone write in if you remember Granny's Garden though. That's really important to me. I won't sleep until you do. I just want one person to be like, you didn't dream that, because I think I did anyway.
Okay, so guys, self-care. We'll give you some more in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm. We will indeed.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll give you an update.
Might not. Might just leave you hanging. Might be like, self-care, bye. We're self-care so much we don't even want to talk to you about it anymore.
And yeah, let us know how you get on, if you enjoy them, and if you have any suggestions for the next one, then we'd love to hear them.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. Franks, we also have another topic for today, don't we?
We do indeed.
Do you want to
kick us off? Yes, I do want to kick us off. Ladies and gentlemen, I put my investigative hat on. I put my Louis Theroux hat on.
Who was I? I was the girl or something, wasn't I?
You were Stacey Dooley. Stacey Dooley got this one out. She's busy on Strictly. Louis Theroux has got this. And guys, I can't believe I'm saying that I did this, but I really did. The whole time I was doing it, I was like, this isn't real. What am I doing? But
oh God,
I joined a sugar baby dating site so that you guys don't have to.
Sugar baby?
Well, sugar baby / sugar daddy. I was a sugar baby. They were sugar daddies.
I didn't know it was called that.
I don't know if we can say
sugar baby,
but it's like a very commonly known sugar baby, sugar daddy meeting site if you're seeking that kind of arrangement. Bad wink. Anyway.
Okay.
Now, the reason for this was pure fascination, to be brutally honest. I'd also seen loads of TikToks by girls who were using sugar baby dating sites or were like sugar babies. I'd seen a few like really flexy ones, like, look at all my Gucci bags, that's from my sugar daddy. But I also just saw a lot, like a big culture emerging on TikTok, which I think happens a lot with various different things, particularly parts of the internet. But this big culture of like, go and be a sugar baby, go and like quote unquote scam men out of money, and all of this stuff. And if you're dating for free, why aren't you dating for money? And the more that I saw about it, I don't know, maybe my For You page was just full with it one day, but I thought I need to look into this for the podcast. If anyone is seeing these TikToks and wondering, should I be dating for money? Now, I'm just going to caveat and say I haven't received any money for doing this from anyone. I didn't
Hashtag
go on
pay dad. No, I'm joking.
hashtag paid by a sugar daddy, more like. Now I wish I had. I just went on this website quite a lot, to be quite honest, and didn't get any money for it. But so I've used it like in lockdown, so I haven't actually been able to like go on a date, which I don't know if we'll get to that.
Okay.
So I can't speak from like the whole experience of actually having gone and like received money. If people really want us to do that, then like maybe it's something we might look into, but
As long as we're not using people, then like, I don't want to use these guys, but if people said we'd love to hear your experiences, then I would be open to going on and genuinely exploring what is out there and what it offers. And if there is a connection with someone, then yeah.
Maybe we could get someone on as a guest who's like done that. Maybe that's the better route. Because there's, like Kitty said, there's a lot of like morality that comes into it if there's people paying you for a date and I don't really want to turn up and just use someone. But it's also a big question about comfort zones as well, because I learned a lot from my experience on there, which I'll get into now. I've even made notes like a real true journalist.
I love that.
Later. So one thing I will say, I felt very safe using the site. I used a fake name. I did use photos of myself, but I used photos of myself that weren't like publicly available on my Instagram or my Facebook. That was something that I picked up from a TikTok actually, because I did quite a bit of research before I joined, just because I think it's sensible like to know what you're getting into. Which, because it's one of those things like, I know I personally would want to be a bit more anonymous on there because, and I don't necessarily think there should be, but there is a bit of a stigma around like the dating for money thing. Does it cross into like something a bit more like seedy or like escorting or whatever? So I definitely didn't want to like be traceable, just because this, like, if someone screenshots my Tinder profile, I'm going to be less embarrassed than if someone screenshots my profile in there. Because out of context, or you know, there are people
you'd have to justify yourself, wouldn't you?
Exactly. So I would probably recommend that, to be quite honest, and like a lot of the girls on TikTok said you should do that to be safe. Should you maybe, if you really want to be safe, should you be doing that on normal dating apps as well? I know you're not meant to be, that's a whole other question, we can talk about that time, but just to like be clear, I didn't use my real name and I didn't use any photos that could be like traced back to me, just because I was like, I don't really want this to be my real lifestyle. I don't know, I was just researching it. So that's disclaimers out the way. So the site itself is kind of like how you'd imagine a dating site to be. It's not like Tinder, but it's like, you know, like how you'd expect like an eHarmony or like a like dating website to be. You don't like scroll through people. You can, it's kind of like Facebook, but not. You can see, it comes up with a bunch of different profiles and you can click on each profile one by one and you can see the info about them, any pictures they've chosen to share. There's a few like interesting features. So you can have like hidden photos that you can choose to open up to somebody. So like you can have an album of images, and if you like start messaging, you can then grant them access to see more pictures, which quite a lot of people had done on there. They're not like racy pictures, it's like the guys no so like
what pictures are these?
Well, I can only speak for like, I only looked at the sugar daddies profiles. I didn't look at any sugar baby profiles.
Right, yeah.
But on theirs, they weren't like naughty pictures. It was just like, because they were all trying to keep an element of like anonymity as well. So they'd have like one picture or like a slightly grainy picture as their main one, and then they'd open up to you and it'd be like all of their holiday pictures from the past few years, like that kind of thing.
With their children.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Now that you could add something onto your profile called a wish list, which is kind of like an Amazon gift list. So it's like you add on products that you would want someone to gift you if they were like viewing your profile. And I presume nobody offered to buy me one of mine, but I presume, which is a bit painful, but I presume you add your address in and then they can just like pay for it their end and then get dispatched to you. I think the app has a deal with some certain stockists, because you could put like shoes on, like trainers or high heels, but when I went on to try and do it, it only had certain sizes, and like there were some items of clothing and like nice pajamas and underwear and dressing gowns and stuff, but when I tried to add like a pair of pajamas, like long leg long sleeve ones, I'm not, not giving anyone any ideas here. But it only had like a size, like a couple of sizes left or something.
Size 4.
Can you imagine? That'd be painful. So I did add a few things to my wish list, but nobody purchased those for me. But I just thought it was interesting. It's kind of like a dating app, but with extra things going on. So in terms of like my profile, what I put on there, as I mentioned, my pseudonym, which is my also drunk girl persona name, which can be revealed at a later date. Some photos that weren't traceable, but also I just put like a bit of a description, and I put a super generic one, like I'm like recently graduated, because I did it late last year, so I'm a bit less recently graduated now. But it's like recently graduated, like focusing on the early stages of my career, like I like nice dinners and nice drinks, because all of the profiles that I saw had descriptions, and I thought I better put something on there so people actually message me. In terms of the guys that I found on there, I feel like quite predictably, like you expect there to be older men on there.
Yeah.
Men that maybe, if there wasn't money involved, a 22, 23-year-old girl wouldn't be wanting to go on a date with, like 60 plus. And there was a lot of those, which is quite predictable. I kind of expected that. I expected it all to be that, to be honest.
Yeah.
What I was surprised by, there was some really young guys on there, like even some younger than me. I saw a 21-year-old guy on there.
But like, how can he be a sugar daddy?
Exactly. So there's like this weird, it was weird because some guys were young, and some of them admittedly were like, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, obviously probably had quite a good career going for them. But then there was also someone there that were like, I don't know, it was a bit strange. There's a thing on like the sugar daddies profiles where they can put what their net worth is. Not specifically what it is, but like a bracket, and also the same for their salary. But sometimes it was like the 21-year-old guy, it was like his net worth was like 50 mil, and I just thought,
nah,
I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but really? Like, from where?
If you were 21 and had 50 million, you wouldn't be on a sugar daddy's website.
Yes. So that leads me on to my other finding, which was people around that age, or like the younger guys using it. To put it quite plainly, they're trying to get something out of it. Everybody's trying to get something out of being on there.
Yeah.
Like, you're a sugar baby, you want the money and the lifestyle and the shoes and the bags. If you're an older guy, you probably want like a young woman to like look
eye candy
holiday, and like the physical stuff. The young guys on there, because there was also some good looking guys on there, like not like models, but like guys that you'd go, really? Like, you could have a girlfriend in real life if you wanted to, I'm sure. Like, you're like in your 20s, good looking, got a lot going for you. You like, his description was describing all of his like sports and stuff he plays. Like, you think, surely you're fine. And that's when I got to like the what they're looking for description section.
I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, so a lot of in fact, sweeping generalization, the majority of the younger guys I saw on there, or like the ones that you think, what are you doing on here, were on there because they were looking for like a fetish situation. So I lost count of the amount of times that was like, I'm dominant looking for a submissive, or like I'm looking for someone who's into things like that, like role play. Like, one guy that I saw was even looking for someone to go to like sex club party. I don't even know the correct terminology because it's so beyond me, but those events with him, which was really interesting. And admittedly, some of them they were like, oh, I don't really want to, because there's like a thing called PPM, which is like pay per meet, so like they pay you every time to see you. And some of these younger guys would be like, oh, I'm just looking for bloody whatever fetish situation. And they'd say, not interested in pay per meet. And it's like, well, what do you think you're doing on there then? But also, I didn't see like sugar babies profiles, so I only know what I saw of the guys. So maybe there are people there that would do. I literally haven't spoken to anyone else. I don't know anyone who's on the site. Like, I might know someone who is, but I've not spoken to them about it. So it was quite an interesting experience to see it from that point of view, because I really expected it just to all be older men, which is kind of the traditional like sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. But I was quite surprised by the like big sexual side to it, where it was like, actually, I'm just using this to like facilitate this my particular interest, which you see sometimes on Tinder. I have seen people like put out their things on Tinder, but it was really prolific here. Like it was so like normal to just scroll down and see that they'd like described this like some sort of like, I guess, the dominant submissive thing, or like whatever they're into. Which
I'd love to see the other side. Maybe we have to set ourselves up as a guy. No, as a female.
How morally right that is.
No, that's not morally right.
But it was just quite interesting, and I'm not like judging at all. Like whatever floats your boat, as long as it's
at least
like,
they're being honest.
Yeah, and it's consensual if you start on your profile.
Yeah,
I was just quite surprised by how much of it was that side of it, if that makes sense.
100%.
Because when I first got on, I like saw a guy's picture and I was like, oh my god, yes, like you're good looking. And I was so JD for money. And then I like scrolled down and it was like, I'm just a dominant looking for my little girl or something. And I was like, that is
it kind of creeps me out a bit.
That's what you do, but personally,
That's not your jam.
Not my jam. Something else I noticed as well, which actually really stressed me out, was how many guys say that they want someone who's like classy, intelligent, knows a lot about art, reads a lot of books, knows a lot about culture. I was like, I do read books, but they're like chick lit, and I don't really know anything.
But also, if that's what these guys want, go for someone their own age, because that's what the older generation have time to do: go to art galleries and read books.
Yeah,
they're educated on things like that.
I guess it's more like, then they want the young, good looking.
Yeah, of course they do, but they can't have everything.
Yeah, I did have a guy message saying, have you ever been to an art gallery private view night? Like, do you want to come with me? And I was just like, no, to be quite honest, it's not you, it's the art. I like it and stuff, and I'll go to the Tate and like look at the stuff, but I think a private view would be lost on me.
Yeah, I like having like a little guided tour, but I don't really need a
I like an art gallery, I really do, but I just feel like a private view night, you need to know a bit more about what you're seeing, especially if it's a date and you're gonna have to make a conversation. And
did I ever tell you that time about the time I went to the Tower of London?
No.
So I went on a date to the Tower of London. My suggestion, he was very into history, and I wanted to do something that wasn't, let's just go get drinks in a bar.
Nice.
So I turned up early, as I do, because I'm an early person. And I thought, what should I do? So I Googled the top 10 facts about the Tower of London. And as we went round, I just whipped out these facts. He was like, wow, you know so much. Yeah,
that is so funny.
It was great. So next time you go to an art gallery, just Google the art that's in there.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's a good shout. Did you get on a second date after that one? Was he like really impressed?
No.
Okay.
He was impressed, but we didn't go on a second date. It was a bit weird. The whole situation was a bit weird, to be honest.
Okay. Under the rug. Swept, forgotten.
Yeah.
So back to this app, this website. I keep saying app, but it wasn't a website. I was using it on the mobile browser on my iPhone, which just felt so vintage. So if you're listening, guys, make an app version. Help us out. I did. So again, on like your profile, you can put like your relationship status, which seems really funny for like a dating site.
Oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of them that I saw, particularly for like the men of a certain age, was like married, or like married but looking, married but need discretion, which made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, because
that was a bit yikes. But maybe the wife knows about it, like maybe it's an open thing. I don't, it's 2021, modern.
God, yeah, okay.
But I didn't just stop there, guys, because I could have just
she brings us the goods.
Guys, I am not just going to look and then not actually find out what goes on in the DMs. Like, come
on. God,
Louis,
give it to me.
Have you seen the Louis Theroux episodes where he like goes to like the swingers club and then like gets involved? Does he? He gets in the.
I don't think I want to see that.
No, you don't see anything. But he goes to like a sex party and like gets in the pool with them. He really gets in there. So that's why I got in the messages. And I actually entered some conversations because I was like, Louis Theroux would not stop here.
No.
I had some interesting conversations. Do you know what? I actually really had a great conversation with one guy, like a genuinely nice conversation, just about like, I can't even remember now, like loads of stuff, like life, like you just started talking on a dating app. And then he told me, he was like, oh yeah, I've done quite well for myself. I've had a business, I own a business, whatever. I was like, oh, cool. What's your business? And he said it was a sex toy company.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm out of my depth here. But do you know what? I don't think I probably didn't sound that enthusiastic back. So we actually didn't, like, the conversation ended, as in he ghosted me.
I would have loved to have known where the idea and how he started that business.
Yeah, I just got quite uncomfortable because, like, by that point I'd seen all of like I'm looking for this, like I'm looking for someone adventurous in the bedroom, like that, all of that on the
shit.
I don't think he said that on his profile, but I'd seen it on other people's. And then we're having this conversation. He's like, oh, so like, are you very like familiar with sex toys? Like, it's
Oh.
and I don't know, it could have just been like, that's my business, I'm an expert on it. But it also was, I was a bit like, I don't want to go down that road. So I think I was just like, really? And then, yeah, the conversation died.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't blame you there, to be fair. I feel like his levels would have been very high on what could have been achieved with multiple sex toys.
I had a few conversations actually. I had one guy, this was great, I don't know why I didn't go. He offered me, I think it was like £300 to go on a first date with him to the Ivy.
Oh.
And then afterwards, he said if I wanted to carry on seeing him, he would give me a £2,000 a month. What's it called? Pocket money. What's pocket money? It's not a salary. It's like pocket money.
Pocket money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this genuine though?
I mean, I'll never know because I chickened out of going. But
oh my God,
can you imagine just to go? But here's the thing. So like, I kept getting conversations like that, and I kept sitting there and being like, this is ridiculous. Why am I not jumping at the chance and doing this and being like, yeah, cool, book it for tomorrow night? But I was really going like back and forth in my head about it. Sometimes I'd have a conversation and I'd be like, oh, you know what, maybe I could give it a go and just see what happens. And then other times I would be just like completely disgusted by the thought of it, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I think partly that, because on paper you think being paid to go on dates, it's like wicked, like my time is valuable, and it's nice.
But that's not just it though, is it?
Well, I guess, but like everyone has to start somewhere, and I'm sure there are some guys who just want to meet up and go straight to the bedroom, but a lot of the guys on there are like, let's go for dinner and see if we get along, and then see what happens like in the days that follow, and they'll pay up front for the first date. But and for me, like on paper, it's like, oh, someone that values your time and wants to like compensate you for that and compensate you for the time you spend with them and your conversation is like nice. Like I've been on some really trash dates and didn't get paid for it and actually lost money because I paid for like the bus fare there. So I kind of thought it was a great idea, but then actually when it got down to the conversation, and maybe this is partly due to like the stigma around it, because they're so like, it's become this like really scandalized, sexualized thing that we like, oh my God, sugar babies, like we see Daily Mail articles about it, and it's like this whole thing. But something in my brain just wasn't connecting and like making me feel comfortable going forward. And I think that's completely fine. Like some people have a comfort zone that like allows that, and it's just really far out of mine, and just not so, and particularly because like, I didn't really have that conversation with anybody that I was like, I felt like I was really attracted to. It's not like when you just go on a dating app and you think, because this is the thing, you don't have to like each other to be able to message. You can message anybody. So it wasn't like, oh, we've both swiped right on each other, and actually like I've, taken a second and looked through your pictures, and now I'm like going through this match and having this conversation like on Tinder. It was like, you've just reached out to me with a proposition. I'm now going to look through your photos and decide whether I'm interested. So
mutual ground wasn't there.
Yeah, and I think if I'd met someone that I actually was genuinely like properly attracted to, and the conversation was like completely natural and like something I was comfortable with, then maybe I would have gone. Like I'm not against the idea on like a moral standpoint, if that makes sense. I think if you're doing something consensually and you're like old enough to do it and that's what you choose to do, and you're going to do it in a safe way that doesn't put you in any danger, then fine, whatever, to each their own. I'm very like, whatever people want to do.
Yeah.
But it was just, some of the messages I got, it was like people I didn't really know what they looked like. And in my brain, I just kept thinking like, so for example, if I go on this date to the Ivy for like 300 quid and I don't have to pay for the meals, it's like the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm going to be sat across from. Like,
Well,
what if I
it's
get
sort
there?
of, yeah, like at what price do you, give up your time, valuable time, to spend with someone who could be, I don't know, pervy, creepy, rude, shit conversation, like
Yeah. Well, also
what?
like it feels like a bigger risk because it's like, okay, I'm a young girl, like people don't even think I'm the age that I am. I get people being like, how are your GCSEs going, little one? Like, so if I walk into a restaurant and I sit down with a guy, even over like 40, it's gonna
Yeah,
be right.
yeah,
That's like a elderly relative or something weird is going on there.
yeah.
So like if I'm sat holding hands across the table with like a 70-year-old man, people are going to be looking, it's going to be like noticeable. And I don't know, there's something about that just made me uncomfortable. And obviously, like, I'm not saying you should meet them in private because that's completely not safe. You should always meet in a public place. But in a way, if I could do it and like not risk like the waiter coming over and be like, oh, sugar daddy situation. Like,
Do you know the other thing is that we have as humans a very IOU mentality.
yes.
And as soon as someone has done something for you, we can't help it, but we instinctively have that drive to pay them back.
Yeah.
And I feel like as soon as they start paying you, you now owe them something. And what's that something going to be?
Yeah.
I know there are ones that are completely not sexual at all and everyone's their own strong person, they can do what they want, but I feel maybe at some point when someone's paid quite a lot of money, there will be some pressure the other way that something needs to be returned.
Yeah, and those like online only things are few and far between. Like I saw one guy saying, I want an online only situation. And he said that he wanted to like get nudes from the girl basically and like have phone sex. That was what he wanted to pay for. So I saw TikToks where it was like, here's how I got like 7 Gucci bags and got my rent paid. And I didn't even meet a guy for like at all. Like it's all been done by like PayPal transfer for like just texting them. And I'm not going to lie, it's bollocks. Like I just don't think that's true at all.
But actually could be bollocks. They could just be making it up.
100%. Like, so I saw this one girl on TikTok, which is, I think was actually the one that kicked off it all because I was like, that's a genius move. She said she was like talking to guys on there and basically would like talk them into giving her a gift or like money or whatever. And then she would say, oh, I'm really sorry I have to isolate, or I'm shielding with my grandparents, or like whatever, here's my excuse as to why we can't meet. And when I first saw that, and obviously the comments was full of like underage girls being like, genius, oh my God, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a whatever, like all these things I want. I'm going to get, jewelry and money. And actually, when I went on the app, like these guys aren't stupid. Like they're, they might be horny. They might be willing to pay for a date, but like they aren't idiots. A lot of them do have like decent jobs and quite a few years on us and therefore some common sense. So a lot of them were like, don't I'm not going to pay you unless we physically meet up in person. I'm not going to send you money for no reason. Like a lot of them, they spell it out because they're not idiots. They've got experience on it.
But also to those people, at what point is your honesty and morals fall so low that are worthy of just getting a handbag?
Yeah. I think
why do you want to be that person who's that shit for the
Yeah.
sake of a material item?
It's just quite interesting because I think like we have this like societal picture where it's like a sugar baby is this like young bimbo with like, the figure and like she's very glamorous. And then like the sugar daddy is like this stupid old man and he just like throws money at everybody because he's like so horny. And actually, when I got on there, I don't think it's like that at all. Like a lot of them, they either want someone who's gonna like of any kind who's gonna do what they want in the bedroom or like has the same fantasies as them, or they want someone who's got a bit about them, who's a bit intelligent and will actually like sit across the table with them at dinner and have a conversation and then have sex with them after. Like
I think also we can't forget these people are sugar daddies for a reason, and some of them have a considerable wealth. These men on the whole are not stupid. Not many stupid people can make that much money.
Yeah.
There will be some without a doubt, but these people are probably clever have made money and unfortunately for them are just not very good looking.
Yeah. Or just old and want a bit on the side because they've been with their wife for a long time.
They have unusual fetishes, like they're not these old big bags who are just going, here's a handbag and 10 grand for this month.
Yeah.
On the whole.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was just interesting. I think like and look, I only joined in the last year, so I don't really know what the site has been like before. I can't, I know that it boomed a lot a while ago. I feel like it definitely has been in the news for a long time. It's been an app that people know, a website that people know about. I keep saying app, I'm too modern. It's been a site that people have known about, so I don't know what it was like when it first started, and maybe it was more like that, but yeah, it has just become a big kind of like place to get your kink satisfied, to be honest. And
there's got to be somewhere.
Blame anyone for what they're into.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't what I expected in that regard. But I did save some messages that I received because I just thought, I'll just give you a taste.
Yeah, a little
conversation. So this guy said, first of all, he said, "You are an absolute beauty," which was a real treat. Thank you. He said, "Just being honest, I've helped with rent and bills in the past and can offer the same to you. I do want chemistry though. I think it's key. Let me know if you're interested and we can chat more and discuss." Which is quite interesting. A lot of them were like, "I've done this before," which was why I was kind of like, these guys aren't stupid. Like, this is what an arrangement I had in the past. I'm looking for another one. One guy said, "I have to be upfront. My last long-term arrangement was 1K a month, once a week meets, exploring galleries, theatres and gigs, dinner and drinks, and then hotel fun." So what that means. Ideally seeking something similar. Fair enough.
Okay.
He was 36, so like, to each their own. One guy said, "You look like you have plans most weekends," which is quite ironic because we were in lockdown. I was like, yeah, really big plans. Didn't reply to that. This guy said, "Hey, hope you're having a nice day. I had a long-term arrangement with a student which ended recently. I was paying her an allowance every month." Allowance, that's what they call it. They don't call it pocket money. What am I on? I got it confused, sorry. An allowance. "I was paying her allowance every month. Apart from the monthly allowance, I spoiled her with gifts. It was fun and good companionship. The allowance was a total of 2,000 a month. Would you be interested in something similar? Can we meet up for drinks sometime in a public place like a bar or a restaurant?"
Well, at least he very clearly said in a public place.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess they're the same because like you could scam them back. Like I could be a front for I could be 3 burly men who are going to rob them,
Very true. Yes. Very true.
Oh, I screenshotted this one because the guy's description said that he was a vegan business owner and chef, so I thought that would be good for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually all the ones I have saved, I've got like, I think a lot of them were just quite predictable. Do you know what? A lot of the messages are just like, "Hi, what are your interests?" Or like, "Hi, what are your hobbies?" Or "Hi, how's your week going?"
But at least it's starting on conversation. It's not I don't know what word I'm trying. Generally. I don't know. An interest in your life and who you are as a person. It's not just here's the money, here's sex, let's go.
Yeah. It was quite an interesting one. That was a good experience. I will, full transparency, I also joined another sugar daddy, like a dating for money app website. Why are these things so vintage, by the way? Like, make an app. How hard? I guess it's because like the older clientele probably don't understand downloading an app.
Still on their PC,
80-year-old guys on there, but I keep calling it out, but I just and this was a different one. I also did this for the research, but that actually wasn't as interesting as the one like the other site I ended up on, because you couldn't message people. This one, you just had a profile and your pictures and a bit about you, and then basically men would send you a bid, like an offer for how much they would pay to take you on a date.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you get any?
I did get a few. Some were quite insulting, like £30.
No.
I got a couple of 30 quid. I was like, come on. That's not even going to cover like a taxi back. You don't.
What was the highest?
I did get a few like 150, 200s.
That's not bad.
But do you know what? The younger guys would offer like 20 or 30 quid. and then
Yeah,
the like
classic.
150, 200 would be like an elderly gentleman, like an elderly, very well fed, probably has gout, that kind of older gentleman. Like would be traveling in from the home counties kind of gentleman, like that
Okay,
that
got you.
kind. So yeah, it was kind of, that wasn't so much. I was just thought, I'm not getting anything interesting here content wise, this is not going to work, so I obviously jumped to the bigger one, put myself out there a bit more.
I love it. Oh, thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. I love that.
I would say summarizing
Yeah.
thoughts. Interesting experience, not what I expected. As I said, quite a mix of people, either
Yeah.
wanting someone quite intelligent or someone quite sexual, neither of which would be right for me, I don't think. If anyone's listening and they're thinking that they want to join, because I don't want to promote it. I don't want to say that I'm supporting it and condoning it, because I am like genuinely not wanting anybody to put themselves in a situation where they could be in danger. And I think if you're not smart about it, you could put yourself in danger, to be brutally honest, which you could do on any dating app, to be fair. Like if you don't meet in a public place, whatever. But I'm also not saying don't join it either. I just think like have your wits about you, like using things like a fake name, photos that can't be like reverse image search to find your profiles, meeting in a public place, you know, asking the person to like send you some more photos of themselves so you know what they look like, so you don't get like catfish, those kind of, and I guess those are techniques that you could use on any dating app really.
Yeah.
You know, Kitty asked guys to send her a voice note. Like, you know, we have like verified profiles on dating apps now. So there's like those things should be naturally something that you do anyway, I guess. And I mean, you know, if you are like sexually adventurous in that way and you're looking for someone to like fulfill those things, then it might be the place to find someone. But I think it was just a really interesting experience, and like, yeah, I might keep my profile on there and log in when I've had a glass of wine just to read the messages once in a while, because it's kind of funny and it's quite flattering as well. It is a big ego boost to have someone be like, I want to get to know you and here's how much money I would like to take you out for dinner, and I'd be interested in giving, and especially when you're hearing like thousands of pounds a month, it's like, oh, the things I could do with that. But yeah, I don't think it's for everybody, and I'm not going to like promote it as like the next big thing for like young women, because I don't necessarily think it is that. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts really. If anybody is listening and they either want to use it and if you want some advice about it, or if you want to like ask me any more questions, please feel free. I can't speak for having gone on a date on it, but I can say what I've seen on there. But if anyone's listening who has used an app or gone on sugar daddy dates, please do let us know, because I'm super intrigued. I feel like it's just been a whole learning experience.
Drop in the DMs, guys. We would love to hear from you at the Dumping Podcast on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, thanks. I think it's been so open and honest. That was great.
I feel like I've really peaked as Louis Theroux. I did a journalism degree, everyone, in case you're wondering. So
that's why you're obsessed with him.
Well, I was obsessed with him before. He's quite an easy person to be obsessed with because he's like fantastic. But I did a journalism degree, so that's why I like to think I'm quite a good investigative journalist. Jokes.
Okay, Franks. We've got to be quick.
Yes,
but that's all right. Pet peeve for the week. Pet peeve.
My pet peeve of the week is, I'm going to generalize and say like builders, workmen, tradesmen, but also men in general, or people being pervy, staring at you, making you uncomfortable. The area that I live in is being what's the word? Lots of building work being done. And the other day at like 7 o'clock in the morning, I had a really big work day ahead of me, and I decided to go for a walk and like see the sunrise. And the way that we like walk to go on our walking route is like right by like the door to a building site. And there was just like 20 of them. And you know, when you like, they didn't say anything or like or anything, but you know, when they just like stop talking and all stare, follow you as you go. And I feel crazy for saying, because look, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't looking very good. I don't think anybody's looking at me and going, she's beautiful.
All right, love.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was like actually enjoying what they saw, but I feel like they just have this like automatic response where it's like female, silence, stare. And it just is so strange to me.
So with builders, if I see builders on the pavement, a group of them, I'll cross the street and walk on the other side.
That's what I did.
I won't walk past them on the pavement.
Yeah, I crossed the road coming back, but even like it was a quiet road, it's a side street, and they were all the other side of the road still. So they still did it on the way, and it's like, for God's sake. And
I think I can confidently say that we don't have builders in our listeners, but if you know anyone or your boyfriend's a builder or whatever, just don't do it, guys.
I don't want to piss anyone off. I don't want anyone to be like, you mean to tell me my boyfriend's been staring at people when he's at work? But look, all the ones I've seen were, you know, slightly older. I just don't know. I don't want to like generalize. I don't even want to say it's just builders because, you know, some men do it. I'm sure some women do it. I've definitely done it to guys before, you know, when you're with a friend and you see a good looking guy and you stop and stare at them. But I just don't think I would do it like to the frequency, because it makes you feel more uncomfortable if you're a young woman and it's a large group of men.
Definitely.
There's a power imbalance which makes it uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to get. I don't want to be like discriminatory towards anybody, but
I imagine most of our listeners will be agreeing with us.
Okay.
To be honest.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
That is my pet peeve. I've noticed it recently. Even when I'm not by myself, like when I'm with a friend walking along, it's still like, what are you guys looking at?
Yeah. Well, we can probably make a guess.
Yeah.
Well, guys. Thanks for listening. Wow, today flew by actually.
I feel like I talked a lot in that one, so sorry if anyone's fed up with my voice, but it's what you have to deal with today.
We've had feedback that Francesca's got a very soothing voice. Unfortunately, I got no feedback on my voice, so never mind, I got over it.
So that's a big fish for compliments. So if anyone wants to send some feedback on Kitty's voice and tell her that she talks nicely.
It wasn't. It was just the fact that you got feedback and they didn't say anything about me. Like, I know I sound a bit manly. I'm fully aware of that.
You don't sound manly.
No, you don't have to be nice here. I know I sound manly.
You actually don't sound. That's ridiculous. How do you?
You're trying not to laugh. I do sound manly.
No, I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of it.
Well, anyway, I'm over it. So it's fine, guys. Don't worry.
Glad to hear it. But also, please do send compliments to the Dumping Podcast on Instagram and tell everyone how nice Kitty's voice is. And also, when you're doing that, can you also say that my voice is also okay? Because if everyone sends compliments about Kitty, then I'll get jealous. I'll be stuck in a never-ending cycle. So just say both of your voices are nice.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
Just telling you what's
anyway. We are the Dumping Podcast. Thank you for listening, Kitty and Francesca. We are the Dumping Podcast at gmail.com.
The Dumping Podcast.
www.com. Oh yeah, you beat me to it. Nice. Yeah. Instagram at the Dumping Podcast,
as we said, and on YouTube, the Dumping Podcast. If you want to watch our in real life. Not sure how I feel about that, but anyway.
Always forget that at this point in the episode for some weird reason. We are also on Facebook at the Dumping Podcast. We have Girl Help, the Dumping Podcast Facebook group, and
our women's girls only support group is Girls Help. And my favorite thing is our playlist, TDHP Anthems.
Which, guys, I have to admit, I listened to it the other day for the first time. Really sorry, Francesca.
Can you not actually say that in public? That's really embarrassing for me.
It's not. I was too busy listening to our own voices on the podcast. That's why.
Okay, cool.
And I listened to it, and wow, does it have some bangers. I texted Francesca and I was like, oh, I really apologise for not listening to this earlier because this is golden.
I have tried and tested it. I also update it quite regularly. So yeah, go and check that out.
Can you not delete any?
No, I just add more.
Oh, good. Some people update them and they delete songs. That's sad.
I won't do that. But yeah, go and check us out there. If you need the vibes, the independent woman vibes, for your self-care, soundtrack your self-care with the playlist. It's perfect.
Give it a like once you're there.
Yeah, give it a follow.
Give it a follow. I didn't know you could do that on a playlist. I learned that.
I don't know if you can. Can you?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. That's what I'm saying. I learned that when I went on it.
We'll leave so you can go and listen to the playlist.
Okay, thank you guys. See you next week.
Everyone. See you later. Bye.